guys, Ben Wheeler, the Mercenary King, here with my Brynhildr deck, updated for the new millennia. Brynhildr is my special project, it is my child, it is the apple of my eye. It is, I don't know, various things that one would apply to one's own daughter that one has raised from a babe into something that is absolutely motherfucking terrifying. She is more terrifying than a feminist on a rampage. She is more terrifying than Hillary Clinton showing up naked at your orgy. More terrifying than a thesis written by Anita Sarkeesian on the male-female dynamic, in that it is terrifying and mostly lies. Yes, I am pro-Gamergate. Yes, I absolutely abhor feminism and the like. And yes, I find it funny as hell whenever they get angry. Remember, you feed the trolls. The trolls, don't feed themselves. Anyway, so here's what the deck is. While Mega Colony is like my firstborn son, this is my cherished daughter. And I have been upgrading her fastidiously. I have done all kinds of playtesting, and I think I've come down something. The original Brynhildr deck was actually complete in and of itself. However, it was not powerful going into the Stride meta. So, we have to start updating it. And again, some of these things will change, much like my Gear Chronicle deck. But let's see here. So, 6 stand. 2 different ones. 3 Dreaming Dragon, 3 Regalia Atlas. Basically what Dreaming Dragon does, puts you into the top of the deck from Rearguard Circle, G-Break 1, end of turn, pay the cost. If you do, return all the cards from your drop zone into the deck, shuffle your deck. So basically, let's say you're starting the deck out, play a Dreaming Dragon. I always keep one to hand as much as possible for as long as possible, in case I need to pull that and the game's going on too long. By the way, use Ordain Owl before you do Dreaming Dragon, unless it brings you under 10, because if you do 10 or more, you draw a card. And then finally, Atlas. Basically, once he is Soul Blasted, he's a Regalia, and you have a Regalia Vanguard, it gives plus 5k. So he turns Brynhildr, let's say Brynhildr Soul Blast 6. That's quite a bit, and there's other grade 2s that do the same thing and a few other things. So you can give Brynhildr a lot of power so that she hits Stride levels, even when it's at grade 3. It's pretty great. These guys are pretty great. They can be targeted by things that put things directly into the soul. 4 Regalia crit triggers. 2 non-Regalia crit triggers. Kukuri Hime, the waifus of many. She can be put into the... Pardon me, I just had to make sure I was recording. She can be put into the soul, boosting up to the level required, and giving things plus 3k. 4 heals. Honestly, I should run the Regalia, but I really love Hebe's art. She is the goddess of youth, wife of Hercules, and a few others. As you can see here, I know that most people aren't really into the symbology of most art nowadays, but she has a bird of paradise. She has a goblet full of ambrosia. She has fruit. There are so many references and classical, meanings in her art form. It is fantastic. She has the cornucopia. She has, the ambrosia. She has lightning in the background. It's all just so great. Flowers that mean youth and beauty. It's just great. I love it. I love her art. A lot of people these days don't know this stuff very well, but, hey, look. It's part of the culture if you're white to have and know all these things, to understand sort of the meaning behind cards and art and all that jazz. And whoever drew this understood it as well, which is just fantastic. They must have looked into what, Hebe looks like and how she's depicted in real art, and understood the symbology. Understanding the symbology can bring more. There's a lot of Japanese symbology in these cards that I just can't appreciate. However, sometimes, when things like this comes around, I appreciate the hell out of them. Like the Regalia is based on the Sacred Regalia of Japan. I had to research that. I didn't know that offhand. I know the Regalia of England and all that jazz, but I don't know this. Witch of Prohibited Books, Cinnamon. Put this unit into the soul. When this unit attacks, it's a Vanguard. This unit boosted at grade 3 or greater Genesis, soul charge 2. So it's a soul charge 3. And honestly, I just have her here to jumpstart, say, Dayon, Angelica, that sort of deal, rather than as an actual thing. Honestly, my grade 1 and grade 2s that do soul charge do a lot of work. However, I'm still not quite on the soul. I'm not doing the soul quite right yet, and I'm still working on that. She may or may not show up, or I may, change out how I do my grade 1s, grade 2s, so I do a little bit more soul charging. Who knows? I'll figure it out. I'll figure out most of this stuff. Again, this deck is a piece of art that I am working on, that I'm honing into some sort of perfection, both for the Stride meta and for other things. And I think I've hit it pretty close to the mark this time, as I did before. And it could, or 2 Ordain Owl. Choose a grade 3 from the drop zone, put it at the bottom of the deck. This guy saved my bacon so much, it's uncanny. It is strange. Choose a grade 3 with Regalia, and then give it plus 5k. It can choose a rearguard. I choose rearguards, because the Vanguard will have its own powers and abilities that go off, but the rearguard often needs help, and, just a little bit more oomph to be more terrifying, excuse me. Let's say that you have 3 grade 3s, boom, 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 and then like 5 grade 3s into the drop zone. Send them to the drop zone, plus 1 5k, plus 10k here, plus 5k here. With booster, that's over, 23k. That's pretty terrifying. With these guys, all of a sudden that turns into 28ks. That's terrifying. It does a lot of work. And honestly, it's one of the things that give this deck an edge over other decks. Ordain Owl is not to be underestimated when it comes to Regalia builds. 3, I may upgrade this to 4. Exorcism, Regalia, Shiny Angel. When this unit is placed on rearguard, choose 3 Regalia from the drop zone. Put them into your soul. Put an Angelica into the soul to make a cross ride. Put a one of these in. Or put, rather, a Norn into the soul so they can be soul blasted for plus 5k. Most of the deck waits until the end of the, towards late game. So you can do these things without hurting anything. However, do be careful, as just soul charging 1 isn't really good value. You should do at least 2. Might do 4 of her. A Mythic Beast, Hati. When they put cards put into the drop zone, G-Break 1, this unit gets plus 1k until end of turn. Why is it only plus 1k? Because most things Soul Blast 6, Brynhildr Soul Blast 6, Minerva Soul Blast 3, Yggdrasil 3, what's her name? Yatagarasu 9. Can you imagine if it was plus 3k every turn? That would be 27,000 to this guy. That's a 34k booster, and as a grade 2 version, that would be a 43k. Sorry, 9 Soul Blast plus 3k each is 27. That would be 36k. So let's say you boost that together. Just, want to figure it out. That's 27ks. So it's 54k. Plus, that's a 70k column, okay? It would be OP. So it's just Soul Blast 1. So that's a plus 12 to the column if there's one in the front and the back. That turns it into a 28k column. And you run stands, by the way, and crits. I've had stand crit trigger. Those things are funny as hell to see, because the opponent goes, oh shit. And that's a 38k column. Let's see a cross right block that. 4 perfect shields. Really wish there was a Regalia perfect shield, but there aren't. I don't use the G-Break too much, just simply because. 2 Hemras. I only need 2, but I do need 2. I found that she's weirdly necessary in the deck, so I'm keeping her in. She does the same thing as Shiny Angel, sends 2 cards from the drop zone to the soul. 3 Jormungand, Mythic Snake. The World Serpent. Some sort of weird Psychopomp thing. G-Break 1 plus 1k every time you Soul Blast. I've already gone through the numbers when I talked about Hattie. Norn plus 5k when it's sent to the drop zone from the soul, and you have a Regalia Vanguard. So you can hit up to 30k with your Brynhildr, but I'll go over the numbers about that later. Because I've got that stand. 4 12k attackers. She works non-G-Break, that's why I have her in there. Also, she is a perfect target for stands. So oftentimes I have a Norn and her. Swing, swing, stand, swing. It's beautiful. It destroys people and decks and lives and marriages. Pretty awesome. Okay. Grade 3s. 4 Angelicas. When the Genesis rides this unit, Soul Blast 3, draw 2. That's nice, draw 2. Choose your Vanguard plus 10k. And then you Soul Charge 1 whenever you attack for plus 1k. Honestly, she's okay. She is probably one of the better break rides in the game. But there are other things that do other things. So you just really have to figure her out. Honestly, she's just there. She's good. There's nothing bad or anything to say about her. She really comes into play with the fact that 2 different cards have cross rides based on her, and I run both in the deck. So yeah. 3 Brynhildr, all of them SP. She is the ace of the deck, believe it or not. The reason why I only run 3 is simply because I have to run 4 Angelica. Angelica makes the deck work more than Brynhildr herself does, which is weird. You might say that's not really an ace then. Well, I say, look, it's whatever you deal the killing blow with. Minerva shows up to do, kill people who have high hand size. But at the same time, it's Brynhildr who helps set that up. Brynhildr is the shield and the sword of this deck. She is the Assassin's Blade. Different policies. You might be like, then well, it's not really a winning image. Yes, it is. This deck is geared around to make her work. Decks geared to make her work are different. They're more aggressive, and they have less to do with soul charging, since she doesn't really need as much soul. She only soul blasts 3. So anyway, Brynhildr, what does she do? Limit Break 5, Counterblast 4, Soul Blast 6, choose 3 cards from your opponent's rear yard, kill them. Draw a card for each card retired. That's a +3. Straight up, +3. You choose the ones that are killed. So often you want to make a triangle formation. Let's say that they have a starter and 2 grade 2s that gain abilities. Kill 1, 2, 3. Or maybe the back row's annoying as hell. Kill them. You know your opponent doesn't have any more grade 2s. Kill the grade 2s, and then one of the things, grade 1s, that can be used as a grade 2. You just got to do it strategically. You screw up the opponent, and he gains all kind of power. You Soul Blast 6 sets. You got 6 cards in this deck that gain +5k every time you Soul Blast them. So give that to Brynhildr. She can hit with a Hattie. Soul Blast 6 +30k, Break Ride +10k. So that's 53k with the Cross Ride. 53k by herself, +6 here. That's 13k. So boost that. It's 63k. 66k, excuse me. That's good. That's numbers. Cross rides don't hit that easily. So, you just gotta play her right, honestly. She's not for everyone. She is probably one of the most advanced cards you can use in Vanguard, simply because of the fact that I built this deck around her and her only. She is here simply because some people need a restander to die. She does work. She's fantastic. I SP'd her out for a reason. I didn't have to do it. I did it simply because I love the shit out of her. Honestly, the Valkyrie stuff, the art, the horse, the spear, everything, perfect. Honestly, I wish she would show up more, but people just can't run her right. She is a terrible card by herself. Just terrible. I will be the first to admit that. She, by herself, is not as good as Minerva, Yggdrasil, Mint, or even things like Yata-Garasu. And Yata-Garasu's not that great. Simply because of the high cost, you have to wait till you're at 5 damage, as well as the fact that, Cross Ride's great, but at the same time it doesn't do much in this meta. It can only do stuff some of the time. So, there's just a whole bunch of things holding her down, but she can still rise up when you build the deck around her. 1 Minerva. Like Brynhildr, she is a cross ride to Angelica. By the way, without the cross ride, Brynhildr would be so much worse, because then you can't defend yourself. Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 3, choose 3 Genesis from your hand, discard it. Stand this unit +5k until end of turn. Attack again. Basically, you could Soul Blast 3 +5ks and be hit like 20k. So Break Ride, you can hit like 43k. It's pretty hilarious. And then you boost with a 10k booster, so it's like 53k. Second attack. She does it. She's won. I've got wins on here where I basically just pull her out last turn and then win. It's that simple. I always make sure I am available to use her if I can get her, but honestly I look for Brynhildr more simply because she does more work and she's more of a tank. Minerva discards 3. Brynhildr gains you 3. You see the synergy. You should see the synergy. If you don't see the synergy, I think you'd have a problem. Strides. Honestly, my stride deck isn't very impressive right now. I'm missing a Vanguard. We didn't get as many as we wanted in the case, and so, hey, whatever. I'll trade for it, though. I'll find it. It's not that expensive, honestly. Fenrir's more expensive for some reason. I run 4 Dione right now. I'd replace 1 Dion and 1 Doombrace, by the way, for Vanguard. Soul Blast 3, once unit attack hits a Vanguard. By the way, you can use her ability first. You send it in Soul Blast, right? Soul Charge 2, so it's a 3, you send them out. Look at the top 3, choose 1 card, put it in your hand, Soul Charge 2. That Soul Charge the other 2. So you put a Perfect Shield in hand, and then you put a stand trigger that when Soul Blast gives plus 5k, and a Norn which Soul Blast gives plus 5k. You see where I'm going with this. Also, nice to get him some stuff. 4 Doombrace, Soul Blast 3, giving out power. Give 2 things plus 5k, and if you have less than 2 or less cards in your Soul Charge 3. Nice. I use him early on. I use him often. I hit 3 cards and I Soul Charge 3. It's good. You know, he does work. But there's not much else to say about this deck. It works. It does what its job is. It's hard to make it. You got to be careful, again, simply because Brynhildr is not for the weak of heart. And to make Brynhildr means you are committing an entire deck just to Brynhildr and making sure she works. She was fantastic during Legion meta where you didn't have Strides. But when Strides came out, honestly, she kind of fell off. However, I think I've revived her, and I'll continue to play her and continue to update her. Simply to challenge me, as well as others. As well as to just, you know, sort of say, screw you guys, I'm the Mercenary King. I can play Brynhildr and win with her. She is one of my best decks. I took her to many top 2s. You know what, the deck that defeated me? It was mostly PBA. It took the highest deck in the meta to bring her down, multiple times. I've got a bit of a rivalry with the likes of PBA, and I'm sure a lot of people do. But quite frankly, you know, this is a different era. And one of my specialties is to take things from every era and just sort of mash it together until it works right. And Brynhildr is a deck that I'll just take with me, like I'm a Mega Colony. Because it means more to me to have her working than it does for all my other decks. And I have a clan for every deck, and some clans I have 2 or more. Like Blink Joker, I have 4. Holy shit. Yeah. Everyone should find a deck like this. Something that they don't really, you know, need. It might be bad, but they've got some spark, some creativity, some willpower that can make it turn from, you know, something that's just, you know, this to something that's this. And it's more glorious, and it's more of a definition of skill besides. This is my journeyman piece. It means I'm a master. Some decks, other people have decks like that. Some people don't have decks like that. Hey, look, you know, you just got to work on something. Find something that may interest you and make it simply the best there is. There's only 1 or 2 people who do that with, like, PBA that I recognize, honestly. And it's getting to the point where Mega Colony's stomping PBA. It won in Mexico with a machining variant. Not something I really care for, but it's actually pretty good. And I think I'll be copying it myself simply because I don't much care for my machining deck right now. I'm having a hard time with it, weirdly. The G-Break stuff is working amazing. And that's strange, because probably I was just a G-Break player all the time. Yeah. Get good. Every time I play this deck and you lose to it, all I can say is get good. Alright, Brynhildr, the Mercenary King, signing off.